The Sydney Test match is, of course, all going to be about David Warner as he brings the curtain down on his Test career. But let's focus on the game itself for a few minutes. I'm joined by Danyal Rasool, who came close to seeing a famous Pakistan victory in Melbourne last week. It wasn't quite meant to be. Some team news to bring you first. Australia, as expected, have named an unchanged 11 for this Test match. There's still no place for Cameron Green. That may, of course, change in the coming weeks. Danyal, can you just bring us up to speed on the news from the Pakistan camp? They almost found a way in Melbourne last week. They played a lot of good cricket over those 4 days. Clearly when it went wrong in too big a way. Can they channel that into this week, or do you think it will weigh on them, that missed opportunity?
I mean, that is the question. Historically, Pakistan have come close one match every series against Australia in the last 20 odd years, but then they've fallen away badly. They fell away in 2010 after Sydney. They fell away in 2016 after the Brisbane Test where Asad Shafiq took them really close. But there is optimism, cautious optimism around the way the side is played, because when the squad was named initially it looked like a weak squad, especially a weak bowling attack. But I think the way Pakistan have approached this series, taken the attack to Australia, has impressed people back home. Shan Masood's captaincy has won praise as well. There's a perception that what they did in Melbourne is replicable. It's not a one-off that was born off the back of just one fantastic performance. And I think there's a steel and grit about the side that makes them think they can finally break that duck in Australia that win that's eluded them for 25 years.
One of the big talking points about Pakistan has been the form of Babar. He had a year to forget really across all formats by his standards. I guess it's an interesting comparison with Stephen Smith and Marnus Labuschagne in the Australia camp. They did not have anywhere near as bad a year, averaging 35 and 42 respectively, and they both found ways to make gutsy, important half centuries in Melbourne. Babar got close, got another couple of gem of deliveries during that game. Where does he sit with his Test cricket at the moment, and can he recapture his best form?
It doesn't help that when you're not in form, the opposition decides to bowl superbly well to you. The way Babar's gotten out in every one of those innings has been wonderful setups and then near unplayable deliveries. He got beaten twice on the outside edge in Perth, twice on the inside edge in Melbourne. Australia bowled to him, they've worked out how to bowl to him. But the one thing that a player as good as Babar is probably not very experienced in is how to get out of a rut, because he doesn't experience that very often. The only thing I can look back at is Babar initially at the start of his career couldn't figure out Test match cricket, and then he scored a 99 against Australia in Abu Dhabi that set up a win for Pakistan, and after that he never quite looked back. This is his first drop in form since, but all it takes sometimes for players such as Babar and Steve Smith and Marnus is one good innings, and we know Babar's good enough to produce it.
Well, it's going to be a fascinating few days here at the SCG, firstly to see whether Australia can give David Warner the send-off that it's widely said he deserves, and I think most people agree does deserve a fine send-off here, or whether it's going to be Pakistan that can start 2024 in style. We'll be back each evening to bring you the latest, but for now you can follow all the news and updates on espncricinfo.com.